Mr. Honorable Minister Adrian Leons, the Minister in the Ministry of Housing, boy. How that going, my brother?
Well, it's good. It's very nice. A lot of things that I wasn't aware the ministry actually do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got intimately involved, so I try to share that information, because a lot of times persons are not able to access or get help because they really don't know.
Okay.
You know, so simply that same particular program, the HVIP program, is where persons who would be living on state land and they have less than structurally sound housing.
Right.
You know, whether it be a wood structure, some people have galvanized structures, and the state actually come and they actually build you a proper structure, you know, and all you have to do is put in your sweat equity.
Okay.
Right, so there's nothing to pay for. So the state actually looks out for a lot of vulnerable persons, and persons don't know about it.
Wow.
So that's one of the things I'm doing this morning.
Right.
So, you know,
Right. So before we get formally into the whole thing, I want you to talk to Trinidad and Tobago this morning a little bit about who you are, because people tend to forget to know.
Right.
People tend to think that you were always a privileged fella. You know, you grew up in money. Yeah, you might grow up in Lavantil, East Mova. You might have grew up in Mova, but you was one of the the ones who slipped through the crack now. You know, you didn't have any struggles. You know, you don't understand what it is to have to fight it. You know, you never taught water. You never. I'm just telling you how people would view somebody like you. You see, the narrative out there is that they don't ever take somebody from the community. Mm-hmm. They always bring in somebody outside the community to talk to the community. But in this time here now, we see where Dr. Rowley would have chosen a son of the soil.
Yeah.
People don't know your humble beginnings.
Yeah.
People just seeing you and they think that you, as I said, you slipped through the crack. You were a privileged one. Right, pull the mic a little closer. I want you to talk to the people this morning and give them a little brief idea of who is Adrian Leons.
Yeah, so let me start by telling you about my parents. So my mom would have born and grew up in a tenement yard. You know, long time they used to call it that. You know, so it had the Lamy yard, King's yard. Those were places where, you know, would have like galvanized shacks and that kind of stuff. And the government would have made a decision to do something called the slum eradication, where they would move persons out of where they would consider the slum, and then they would develop government type units. So they had one of their first developments in Mova. Right. So she would have come out of one of those types of units, and we grew up in Mova most of the time. We were back and forth between Mangoros and so that's where I came from.
Your roots came
That's
from.
where my roots came from, and I thank God for both my parents of having that understanding the struggle and really giving me some guidance in terms of focusing on making sure I don't do too much wrong, because you know we all we all fall short, you know, and you know, thank God that none of my errors were fatal or anything like that. And I mean, I grew up, my uncle taught me how to cut hair. You know, from the age of 12 I used to be cutting hair.
Okay.
Yeah, and I used to use the money to go to school. You know, well, we had our bus passes, so you know, you never really needed cash per se.
Right.
You know, you use a bus pass, you mob drop over the hill, you know, you go to school, you know, and things were a bit different. You know, the community was how I would consider it, even more of a gel than it is now, and that's what we're trying to do now. We're trying to build back that gel and remove the stigma and the borderline foolishness, you know, and we've been very successful in it. We try to do things like little sport and programs and thing, to build and bring the communities together. But for me, I grew up no different to the average youth man.
Really?
And in Mova, yeah, and I experienced the same thing.
Right.
People experience, and I think the difference in terms of outcome have a lot to do with the people that speak to you and guide you, whether it be a parent, a guardian, or elder. So because of that, I try my best to talk to a lot of youngsters, and I try my best to encourage persons who would have gone through the struggle and come out. What I consider successful is being able to sustain yourself. Right. So once you could live, you could eat, you could feed your family, and you could continue, that in my view, that's success, and you could only build from there.
Right.
And everybody have a story to tell. And each one had to look after each other, and as one family. I see my community as a family.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you as you said, you grew up in the midst of the struggle.
Yeah.
In the sense of the water wars. You ever been by a standpipe?
I mean,
you see, I want you to share.
I remember when John Benoit lived a couple houses from me, and his brother was a fireman. And when we in our water, they used to organize a fire truck, and everybody running with a little bucket and thing.
Right.
to get water. We had our water wars, but things improve. I mean, to bathe in a full bucket was, you're not even bathing in a full bucket, you're sharing that bucket. Everybody had to, so, and I know what I'm saying is something common to a lot of people who grew up around that time. It might be common to persons on the outside, but so it's easy for me to live with little, because I grew up surviving on little. So and I thank God for that.
Right. So you would have shared with us that your uncle, is it uncle or your brother?
No, my uncle.
Your uncle taught you how to do barbering.
And real old style thing, bottle and scissors. Bottle and scissors, sharpening the scissors with the bottle, and comb and razor blade, And eventually I was able to get a second-hand machine, and I started to cut hair. In fact, I always encourage youngsters with skill development, because cutting hair is what the skill that I had that purchased my home, the home that I'm living in, is being a barber.
Never.
I'm telling you.
I'm
telling you. No, being a barber, all the money that I paid towards getting my home came from cutting hair.
No, that's luck. I was talking to a youth man yesterday, and the young man said to me, Mr. Google, those people who giving you those success stories about like what you talking about there, buying your first home from barbering, that is luck.
No.
Isn't it prudent management?
Is determination. You see, because you need to be focused, so you need to sacrifice also. So my mom always used to tell me a term. She used to say deferred gratification, and what that meant was defer your happiness for a little while, sacrifice a little bit. So when you get money, instead of going out and spending and having fun and that kind of thing, just be disciplined and defer your gratification for later. Because when you have the discipline to do that, your reward will be a lot greater. So what I used to do, I used to cut hair, and the money, so I used to work on a commission, right? So the money I made from cutting hair, I never spent a cent. The only money I used to spend was tips. So serious. So that was my so if I didn't get any tips, I would walk home. I wouldn't eat. I'll do all kind of crazy stuff, because I was determined that the money, that whatever cash that I got from cutting hair, I would put it aside to buy my home. And I used to take it and I used to give it to my wife, and she would keep it, and she also had to have the discipline. That's the other thing. You need positive support.
Right.
You need to keep people around you that would support your vision, your goal, and encourage you, you know, that kind of thing. So I mean, I give thanks for my family. I give thanks for all the support that I got, and who I am is as a result of all the people around me, my community, my family, my friends, you know, so I thank God for that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So Trinidad and Tobago, I hope you all are listening, because this is building up to something that I know it shocks some of you, but I know why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So you did your barbering, you save your money, you think, but you went to school. Apart from that, you would have furthered your education.
Yes.
You would have furthered. You didn't just say, okay, right, I accomplished buying my home, stuff like that, but you had other determination to become educated.
Yes.
And that is where we end up. That's how we end up meeting each other.
Yeah.
But I want you to tell Trinidad and Tobago how you pursued your education.
So I had a lot of ups and downs with respect to education, and as a youngster, doing all different stuff. You know, when you start to make money, sometimes you decide, well, all right, I'm comfortable here. So I remember starting to earn a little money and buying a little wristband and a little gold chain and feeling good, you know, able to do the things that you want to do. But then again, elders, the knowledge of the elders, you know, they tell you, here what's going on. You have a ability with academics,
right?
You know, so continue, pursue it. You know, so I would have done so. I did math, and I was good at it. And then I continued at first. My first after I finished, I did A levels in Polytechnic, right? And when I completed that, I got into a school in Colchester in England, right? But that didn't work out because I was given a partial assistance program.
Go ahead.
Right, and when I went across, the transport alone to get to the school was way too much. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it brought me to a certain level of reality, you know, in terms of how out there is also. It don't have the family vibes like Trinidad. So I end up returning to Trinidad, and a guy called Professor Imbert, he assisted me, and I got into mechanical engineering in university. I came in the middle of the semester,
right?
You know, and
which university was that?
UWE, right? And yeah, so I was able to complete my first degree there, and then I went back again to England. You know, this time I got into Manchester. I had the great support of my mom and my grandmother and my dad, my family in general, and I completed my master's there. I did a master's in mechanical engineering design, you know, and I came back home to give back
to Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah. But while you were in the UK, you was a barber in the UK.
Yeah.
Your skill of barbering would have helped you to be able to get extra cash.
Yeah, well, that is how. So my first experience would have helped me to recognize that you had to have something to sustain yourself. Right. You know, so going across there with a skill, you know, was very helpful. And I mean, cutting here, and as you know, it's a cut here in Croydon.
So Trinidad and Tobago,
it's the cut here in Croydon.
It's the cut my hair in the UK.
Yeah.
While I was studying at Thames Valley University, and while studying at Thames Valley, and working at Mayday University Hospital.
Yeah, that's just walk away. Yeah.
I see this brother, and I see the Trinidad flag, and I say, "Ah, boy, look my barber here."
Yes.
And he used to cut my hair. That time I was slimmer. I was sure how he used to look. I was slim. Yeah, and that's how we got to understand the connection.
Yeah.
So Trinidad and Tobago, we're going for a sponsored segment and come back. I was supposed to say, when we come back, we're going to get into your stilt into getting into the politics. Let me tell you something. You see what you shared with Trinidad and Tobago there? has now opened the minds and the understanding of some people that, hey, it's not a privileged few that sits in the parliament. It's people from humble beginnings. There's some people who believe that people who have, who into wealth and who mother and father is privileged people, they are the ones sitting in our high offices today. When in truth and in fact, you came from humble beginnings.
Yeah, man.
You understand?
Yeah.
And we're gonna share with Trinidad and Tobago in a little bit how moving from the whole studies and coming back home and how you get involved into the politics. So we go into a sponsor segment, and after that is the news.
Yes.
And we coming back to talk about your this is your second into the second term into the politics.
Yes.
So we're going into a sponsor segment. When we come back to Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to get some more information, and we're going to get some more into the life of our good brother.
Yeah, man.
All right? It's my brother, you know. Well, you don't know, you know. It's my brother. That time I didn't have no money to get a haircut. And I said, trust haircut. But we will come back and talk about all them things. All right? Trinidad and Tobago, so don't touch your dial. Stay right here with us. I'm really enjoying this interview. Some people done messaging me already and telling me, excellent interviewer. Yeah, because people need to know the truth. Too many people are fooled. They're fooled to believe things that it don't exist. Think that that's not the truth. You know what I mean? So again, I'm really glad that you came, and we're gonna share the real thing with the people. Straight up.
Yes.
So don't touch your dial, Trinidad and Tobago. We're coming back after this.
Think about wellness in terms of physical health, nutrition, exercise, weight management, etc. But it is much more. Wellness is a holistic integration of physical, social, emotional, spiritual, intellectual, financial, occupational, and environmental state. Join our host, Terry Ann George, a health coach, author, mediator, and CEO of the Institute of Health and Fitness, as she discusses 8 elements with several professionals within the various dimensions of wellness. So let's kick burnout to the curb for
Tired
good.
of spending thousands of dollars on medical visits and medication, not getting any results? Fed up of fighting the bulge and all those expensive products and equipment that don't work? Then come to Health and Fitness Clinic and Wellness Spa. Discover our drug-free, no side effects, pain relief, total health diagnostic testing and treatment, physiotherapy, aromatherapy massages, electrode acupuncture therapy, and weight loss programs. We specialize in diabetic, cancer nutritional care, and natural therapy, kidney and liver diseases, and much more. To book an appointment, call us at 492-7397, 336-4953, or 289-6363. Health and Fitness Clinic and Wellness Spa, located in Tunapuna and Pleasantville.
And to begin to all my loyal listeners around the world and at home and in the vehicles, it's a pleasure being here once again. And today we're going to hear a small testimony from one of our clients, well-satisfied client. They had infertility. They were infertile they were together for more than 20 years. And after 20 years, they were now able to get pregnant after visiting us. And following what we told them to do, within a matter of 3 months, they got pregnant. And now these people spend lots of money. So went to these places in Barbados, went to the places in Trinidad. They spent over $200,000 in fertility testing and all the different things, and nothing worked until they came by us. And all they spent, they didn't even spend $2,000. Imagine that. All they spent was to do a complete testing to find out what was wrong with them. It was $900 to do a complete head-to-toe to find out what was wrong. Because what tends to happen, most people tend to think, okay, the guy's motility rate was low, okay, and his wife did not realize, and listen to me, it is a both of them issue, because once they're married for years, both of them have been eating the same thing. and that is which the problem was. So when they came to me, they actually did not even come to me about getting pregnant. They come to me to lose weight. The wife had, she was overweight and she wanted to lose weight. So we do have a weight loss clinic. So those of you who wish, make an appointment and we'll show you how to lose the weight effectively, efficiently, correctly, because again, in her problem, it was her thyroid that had malfunction. So when we do the test, we test your thyroid. We do a complete thyroid test, not part of your thyroid and a piece of your thyroid. We do a complete all 15 aspects of your thyroid. We do a complete endocrine and thyroid testing. And he also had his health issue, and we tested him from his head to toe and found out exactly what it is. Okay? So I'm going to be listening to this small testimony of this couple, and we're going to have another testimony next week, and we'll do testimonies because what we're actually doing is starting up our fertility clinic. We have lots of people who had so many different challenges in getting pregnant, and they all have been successful. Just this morning also, one of my patients called, and she was like, Miss George, I came to get rid of my polycystic ovaries and fibroid, and now I'm pregnant. I'm 2 months pregnant. And yes, the problem was me, as I explained to her. She said, oh, my husband complaining, you caused that. I say, I didn't. All I did was clear the polycystic ovaries and the fibroid naturally. There's no need for surgery. So we get rid of your polycystic ovaries and your fibroid naturally. And once that is clear, you get pregnant very easy. Okay? And so therefore, you can contact us, 336-4935, 336-4935. So listen to this testimony now.
I'm just messaging to tell you the good news. After using your product for approximately say 3 weeks, if so much, I was experiencing high blood pressure. They sent me to do heart testing and stuff like that. Also, the results came back sort of negative, but I still decided was to come by you to check out your herb stuff. Within the time that I took the stuff that you told me to, I didn't take it exactly how you told me to, because I didn't have all the products, but I started, all the vegetables, but I started. And within, you say, like a month or two, I was pregnant. Of this year, October 1st, I'm now with my bouncing baby boy. I want to thank you so much for this advice and for your body scan, and I will encourage anybody else to visit you and
searching for the right blend of seasonings that doesn't have MSG or salt and is totally natural? Then try our Healthy O line of natural seasoning and herbs, which are ideal for persons with diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, and poor circulation. Look for Healthy O in your neighborhood grocery or mini mart.
Watching the day unfold. Jada books is wonderful. It's something to behold. Well, if you love life as much as I do, put something in the air now. And if you love Jah as much as I do, put something in the air. Let me see your hands up, everybody, hands up, everybody, hands up. Is the utmost. Raise the glass, take a toast. Wave your hands from coast to coast. Take out your phone, make a post. Life is the greatest thing, now sing. Life is the greatest. Life is the greatest. greatest, life is the greatest thing. Now sing, life is the greatest, life is the greatest, life is the greatest, life is the greatest thing. Oh yeah. Take a look around you, front and look behind you. Job works is everywhere. Take a look inside you, somewhere deep within you. Trust me, he's always there.
So we're back to Trinidad and Tobago. We're back with you, and as we get ready to go to the news in a little bit, but before we go for the news, we just want to tell you, remember, I have in studio with me today, and I'm getting so much calls and messages. And I want to say good morning to the boss.
Blessed love.
Thanks very much for the phone call. I wouldn't say who it is, but thanks very much for the phone call and encouragement. And, he's really happy that you're sharing your story, because there are people who forget. Good morning, Miss Davy. There are people who forget where we come from and how we started, and you know what I mean. And again, I want to thank you for taking up this opportunity to encourage somebody out there. You know, I sat down here when you're talking about your the barber and stuff like that, and I know that there are some barbers in San Fernando who I want you to talk to. Okay. You see what you see in there? If you share your experience with them, the name of the barbershop is 5 Star.
Okay.
When I go by that barbershop, brother, people just call them my $1 million barbers. You know?
Yeah.
They're on point.
It's experience.
I'm telling you, yeah. They're on point. And I think if you share your story with them, I could see the owner of that shop buying that building before the end of this year. Because that's the kind of mindset he has to. But you see, if he get the encouragement and the help, they could do great things.
Yeah, I believe with God, you could do anything, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is. Obviously, you must have that foundation.
Yeah.
You know, and they say faith without works is dead. So you know, you do what you have to do. You keep focused. You have your foundation Almighty, and anything is possible.
That's what we're talking about. So Trinidad and Tobago, we are here live with the Honorable. That's my brother. Yeah. My brother. Yeah. All right, Minister Adrian Leons. He's in the Ministry of Housing.
Yeah.
With the Honorable Miss Camille. Miss Camille Robinson Regis. Yeah. And when we come back, we're gonna continue his journey. It's a journey, you know, and I know that this journey is helping a lot of persons to understand that, hey, if you dream it and you believe it, you can accomplish it.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Yeah, man.
So with the bottle, it's a lot of scissors. I hope you ain't get with that scissors. You know?
I can't find that now.
You serious, Mike? You're supposed to save that scissors.
And watch me, there used to be them returnable, them big fat soft thing bottle.
Yeah. Solo.
Yeah, man.
It's solo or something. So tonight we're gonna be going for the news, and we're gonna come back. When we come back after the news, he's going to tell you about his tilt into the politics, and then he's going to show you some of his achievements and some of the things that he wants to do. And he's going to talk to you a little more Trinidad and Tobago on, you know, why we should stay focused.
Yes, definitely.
And don't get derailed.
It's something to behold. Well, if you love life as much as I do, put something in the air now.